finally had me. She was starting to super push me and trying to run me out of the way with the rear to take food and everything. And if I don't have anything in my hand to use, I don't entirely know what to do.
You don't really have a good, yeah.
I mean, she was half listening because she would get to maybe like 15 feet away, but then she would like kick and run up like that. And she wouldn't do that any closer, but once she would run in and try and get close to the food, she just like side body block to try and like get the.
Okay.
So then I was like, all right, I don't know what to do about that if I don't have anything with me.
Yeah. You're definitely in danger of getting kicked under
so
it because that was
basically I just
sending food.
got out, grabbed the bucket.
So there, that's looking for excuse. You see how she literally looks for excuse to have that little freak out? I'll get a hold of her, and then I'm going to walk you through what we'll do with her. Very nutty.
Plus now there's 2 places.
What are you worried about?
Yeah.
So anything but forward is going to be your answer. So change direction quickly. Think about our feet quickly. You're going to get her brain back to you. So she, going forward, you don't have to sit on her feet, so she can have a little freak out. Now watch how she's very focused. Suddenly takes a trot, I'm going to send her right back around. Get that. I'll let you have that. Oh. I don't know. I don't see it though. Get it, have to. Get it. Okay, cool. So when they're kind of losing their mind, just letting them almost adds fuel.
That I do remember.
So what we need to do is get her thinking about her feet, and backing up and crossing her front feet over in turns is the best way to get them thinking about their feet. So like if she starts to get herself up from running, I would tell her, no, how about you change direction? Like, no, didn't want to try. And I heard her too, but I need you to focus. What it is, stop. Too much standing will allow it to get built up again. So like wanting to love on her right now is the wrong time to do that. Because I'm going to ask her to go sideways. Again, thinking about her feet. And the reward is going to be to let her talk to her friend as soon as she does what I ask. And that'll be her reward. You're safe. Okay? And now we're going to work some more. Good. Now Remy leaving, if that any kind of stride, I would spin her around and make her go the other direction. So basically, you're going to manage her speed by changing direction. And by managing her speed and doing change of direction, you're going to keep her focused on her feet. And you're going to bring her into a disciplined frame of mind, because by telling her, no, we're not hunting. I know that looks like something you really should be doing, but no, that's not what we're going to do. And that'll help her come down a little bit. So I see she's going a little bit faster than I like, and she's kind of thinking naughty a little bit. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and keep going. And she offered to trot with that one hind foot, so I'm going to just tell her, no, I'm not doing that. And maybe I'll tell her to do sideways again. Listen to me. Had to get after her, so when I tell her she did a good job for listening. So that way. So she's pretty focused now. Like, I'm not really thinking that she's losing her mind now. We can put fluorescent masks on her if she took it off before this reason. We can put it back on. Okay. So, like I said, I would want you to have her pack the saddle every chance she gets. If you want, we could see if she'll stay calm enough to let us do that. Okay. You want to manage her, see if you can. Because, like, the frame of mind that she's in right now is a calm, but still on the edge. Yeah. So we want to make sure that we can tell her, oh no, you don't want to get there before she gets there. Now you have the upper hand. She's not there, but close to wanting to be there, and now you just want to get ahead of the energy. Good girl. So then I would even like yield her and see if I can't just give her a little pet. But like I said, the longer you ask her to stay still, the worse it'll start to get again. Especially if somebody keeps coming, checking in, and leaving again. Good girl. So you want to always at least verbally praise with really strong crossover steps. You want her to keep giving us the best she's got. And often they try and they get away with doing it not so good. Next thing you know, they don't really know what you really want. Yep, that was perfect timing. Why did you do that?
Because it looked like she was about to start picking up a little bit.
Yep. And often what I do is when a horse is losing its mind in a certain space, so like she's losing her mind kind of down in this corner and around that gate, what I would do is I would spend all my time working right there, you know, as opposed to taking them away from the space that's bringing the most anxiety to them. Yep, yep. So now her ears, what do you think her ears are saying? Combination, but so you could get it right kind of as two different things. Right now change directions and watch her ears. She gives you a mild, I think I want to give you an attitude kind of thing. So they do kind of give a little flip back. And then they turn out to the side. She does kind of that donkey thing. You know, right? So it's an uncertainty. And the only thing I'm going to have you do is where she's kind of winning that little game there with you, is you're backing out of her way. So she's getting away without even really doing it, she's getting away with driving. one ear on you. That was a drive-by kind of intention ear. Like she meant to do that. Kind of like you were describing with the grain. To tell her, I need you to get away. Yes, good. And then drive her shoulder. Yeah. So we want to make sure she has those crisper turns and she doesn't get away with doing them. Because when she's in this mood, a drive-by is extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
Now, if she was really worked up, like when I first took a hold of her, now see that's more on confidence.
Yeah.
Did you see her ears?
Yeah.
So when she was really worked up, you saw that I didn't let her take more than a couple of strides each direction,
Yeah.
and that's what she would do. You would almost, when they're really worked up like that, like say, go that way. No, go that way. Like you can't make up your mind. And then you do stuff like where I did the sideways stuff, where you just say, all right, you know what, I bet you're tired of going around in a circle. You know, I might be able to tell you to do something different to help you pay attention. Because she's starting to not pay attention, kind of doing a little bit of aimless walking now. I would definitely want to keep fixing your turn to the left. Her excuse. Because remember, over there, she made an excuse. So if you think she's going to make an excuse to kind of get bouncy, that's not what you want to make it turn. Okay? So if by that rustling leaf tree there is where she's thinking about she wants to get bouncy, the last thing you're going to do is get her nose coming towards you. Because you're going to invite that spook into you. So I would draw my on this side, keeping her focused on whatever she thinks she wants to have her freak out about. So like if I was to go sideways, I would not go sideways on that side. I would do it where you are, yes. Yep. Yep. Good. Good. Yep. Yep. You gotta keep shoulder forward. But not by accidentally bringing her to you. Because you kind of accidentally brought her to you. So it's energy more on the line with a bump. But then energy of like a backup energy. So, yep. Yep, there you go. And then change directions right away. That's the only thing I was not dealing with. I wasn't dealing with the snotty faces.
Well, and I was curious, given our relationship for the last week or so, how was it being?
It's definitely offering you attitude that either she didn't think she should offer me or didn't have time to think about offering it to me. So honestly, how I would handle a horse that, especially now you can see it is different between you and her, not between her and me. So what I would do is I would almost make, anytime she gives those flashy looks, I would almost make that really uncomfortable. And then give her a break, see if that she made the connection, that it's the face that made the... That's not bad. That's almost like I'm over this game kind of look, more than it's about you. A couple times she gave some pretty snotty looks that were definitely about you. That's still not one, that's still not one. Not really. Kinda. That's geared towards you. She kind of got over it. She had a little bit of an attitude for a few seconds there. Well, hello there. You watching too? So there's, okay, I want to stop her but not stop her for long. So there's what happened here, okay, is she did almost a drive-by, and it was a very soft request for her not to. And that it was almost, the energy was enough to just kind of be like a fly at her, to where I think that's what's triggering that thing. I think that's because that's the next time she did it. She hadn't done it a couple other times, but she started to kind of give a drive-by, and you just kind of put energy in her space. So what I would do is if I put energy in her space, and I got that snotty look, I would slap her shoulder even more to drive her even further out of my space. Yeah, I mean, that was innocent what she just did. So almost don't let it get worse than that. So what I would have done if I had told her to leave, and it looked anything worse than that, I would slap that shoulder out to the rail right away. And then be prepared to back up out of a hind reaction. You might get a hind reaction as a result. So kind of be prepared to kind of jump out of the way of that. But you gotta stop her from thinking that she can make mistakes at you. That was a little bit better. They weren't pleasant, but they weren't like teenage attitudes. There, now I would have probably slapped her shoulder in that case. Because she did the drive-by, and then she just kind of had an obnoxious look at the rope swinging, but didn't respond to it. She didn't move out of the way of it. Out in the actual part. And then she's like, okay, I'm supposed to do this now, look. Yeah. It's okay. So you got your point across, even though it wasn't what we were trying to do, but you got your point across. So how I would do that, she's not going to do it for me, but say she made that turn and she gave you that kind of snotty face. I wouldn't do anything about stopping her front feet. Okay. So I wouldn't. Yeah. Just ignoring. Yeah, I got stung on your armpit the other day. Oh yeah. Yeah. Ignoring it. Yeah. I would have, if anything, put my hand forward still because that's what you were doing. You were encouraging her to go back out on the circle. Okay. And then if she gave me that look, especially if I could still see the front of her shoulder, if I could still see this part of her shoulder, I would make sure that I got as close to that part of the shoulder, as close to this bony part of the shoulder as I could, and be like, get away from me. Okay. And it would just be one downward slap, you know, like almost like you marked your target. So when she's this, she turns, and then she goes, this kind of gives you this. Yeah. Right? This is where she gets herself in trouble. Because if she makes the turn correctly, she's going to go like this. Yeah. Right? But she's doing this kind of stuff. She's taking almost one step at you, or sometimes even separate. Okay. When she takes that one step at you, like I'm coming that way instead of going that way, you're just going to say, oh, I guess your shoulder needs a little more support. And kind of give it that, like, don't get mad. Yeah. It's not a, you know, how dare you look at me like that. Just kind of goes, oh, apparently you need a little more support. Okay. You know, and then that way you'll kind of keep your emotions out of it and be like, you didn't do it right. Yeah. Apparently you need a little more support. And that'll keep you from getting kind of upset with her and then having that kind of exchange. really visit with you because you're supposed to work.